So you have a little bit of work to be doing, as all school superintendents do. You've made
Right.
some decisions, though, about what school will look like in the fall. Tell us what you've decided.
Yeah, so this wasn't randomly done. We looked at what the guidance that was issued by the CDC, OSHA, the Michigan's state opening plan, looked closely at the American Federation of Teachers document, AFT, and tried to put all of that together based on the reality that COVID has disproportionately impacted Detroit in the Black community. And so this is a collection of our best thinking based on the research that's out there, the medical best practice. And now it's about engaging stakeholders internally and externally about how they feel about it. And so far, the conversations have been positive. That doesn't mitigate the fact that folks are full of anxiety, especially our most veteran teachers. They're worried about coming back, and they have legitimate reasons to worry because they're in a health category that's more at risk. But I think what I've been saying is we can't start the conversation with no, and we can't end the conversation with no. So what do we do differently? What do we do better to make you feel more at ease? Because our children have to have face-to-face instruction.
Yeah. So let's talk about the nuts and bolts of how that will work in the fall and how it's maybe a little different, as you point out, from some other districts.
Our employees will have to be tested. So everyone will be COVID tested before they return to the building. That's instructional staff, administrators, support staff. Secondly, we're planning on taking temperature checks as folks come into the workplace, including schools, children included. That will be different. We're going to have students and employees take a self health check linked to the symptoms of COVID. That'll be done through an app that will be submitted daily. Beyond that, I think that's when we get in territory where things will be similar. So smaller class sizes, not eating in the cafeteria, not exchanging classes, setting up cleaning stations or sanitation stations where students and employees will have ready access to sanitizer, making sure that our bathrooms are fully supplied. We're going to establish a hotline and an email address so that employees, students, parents can submit complaints or concerns in an anonymous way so there's no fear of retribution.
I think lots of communities deal with this same dynamic, although, of course, we have more of it in Detroit, is the ability of parents to be able to adapt to a school week, for instance, that's not 5 days, right? A lot of people count on school for, among other things, taking care of their kids while they're at work. Do you worry that this will play out really differently for families in Detroit?
Yeah, that's we were sensitive about that in creating the reopening plan. That's one reason why we don't intend to go to a hybrid schedule for our K-5s and K-8s. So we are expecting school every day, Monday through Friday. We typically go 7 to 7.5 hours, so we may shorten a day to 6 hours. But we are going to have school every day. And we thought about that because of the siblings reality. A lot of our parents have multiple children at different grade levels. And so it would be maddening to think about, well, the kindergartner has to go to school on Monday, but the fourth grader doesn't go until Tuesday. That would be too much of a hardship on our parents as they're trying to get to work every day, sometimes working 2 to even 3 jobs. So we don't want to burden them in that area. But some of our large high schools may have to rely on a hybrid schedule on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday basis. There'll be day-to-day teaching, but not all students in the building at once. Just schools like Cass, Western, Renaissance are too big to have that many students in the building, at least preliminarily in the fall. That might change if things continue to improve from a COVID perspective, but right now we're just not comfortable with that in the fall. So we're also better positioned as a district because of the Connected Futures investment. The $20 million and every student having a device and internet access does level the playing field for us, so that if we have a second wave, we can go to online learning and continue the regular curriculum